crazy. For all you closet crazies, now's the time to come on out because we have the Monty Python of Novelty Records. The Doctor is in. He's here.
We find new uses for record jackets every day. They make nice hats.
Well, I like that.
Yes.
And they're also edible, too.
Though actually I prefer my own hat, especially since it pops up like that.
Well, Doc, you got to help me, okay?
Yes.
I've been listening to the same Barry Manilow record all the time. I'm in a rut. I mean, do you have a suggestion for me? What can I do?
Oh, yes. Dr. Demento presents the greatest novelty records of all time.
There you go.
It is a 6-record set, also available on cassettes. And it has one album each from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and then there's a Christmas album, too.
Now, Doc, why are these so good? Why did you pick these particular
Because
songs?
they're absolutely the best, the funniest, the most riotous, silly records that were ever made in history. All the way from Cocktails for Two by Spike Jones to Fish Heads by Barnes & Barnes.
Now, Spike Jones, that's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Why is that such a favorite?
Well, I guess it's because it was really the first demented, crazy music that I ever heard. It goes back to when I was about 4 years old, and my dad brought home a copy of that, 78, like they had in those days, and I just fell in love with it, especially when the guns go off.
Now, I read that you have some, 200,000 albums?
Yeah, it's
Where do you put them?
Well, that's a very good question, The house is absolutely full. In fact, when I got married recently, my wife saw the kitchen, and all the kitchen shelves were full of records, and she said, you got to do something about that if you expect me to cook in this house.
So before she started throwing them out the back door.
Yeah, so we had to sacrifice our patio.
No, they're collector items. That's a nice trick. I like that. Now,
we had to sacrifice our patio and build walls around that.
So you still have some 200,000 albums.
Yes,
and
right.
You get a lot of calls from people who come in and want to borrow this album or that, or take a look at this. I mean, people serious in music and all.
Quite a bit,
collectors?
all the way from Bette Midler to Ry Cooder. Lots of people have asked me to find material for them to record.
Now, what's this deal about Weird Al Yankovic? I hear you two are buddies.
Well, you see, in addition to all these 200,000 records, I play a lot of unreleased tapes on the show. Tapes that people send me from all over the country. Some of them are just little kids singing into their little portable machines, doing a little parody of the latest Michael Jackson song, Into the Little Box. Some of them are pretty elaborate productions.
And you actually put those on the air as
if they're good, the funniest ones.
Oh, great.
And somewhere in between came the tape recorded in his basement by Alfred Yankovic. He wasn't even Weird Al in those days. In 1976, he sent me that tape. I thought it was real funny. You didn't hear much accordion music in those days, so there it was, School Cafeteria by Weird Al Yankovic.
And that's how he got his
16 years
start.
Old, and he sang a song about the food in his school cafeteria. Any kid can relate to that, so I thought that was a riot. I put it on the show and kind of went from there. Then came My Bologna, another one, Rides the Bus, and then of course he started making videos, and
everything exploded.
Yes, right.
Everything went to hell. Okay, now we're going to give you the number on this, and so you can get your set. Now this is
all
Dr.
6 of them in one set. Yes.
B230 and retails for $55, but here at STN only $39.90. You save over 25% on this. There it is, B230, $39.90. And as the doctor said, we're talking about individually signed and numbered box set. We're talking about 6 albums.
Yes.
Of what? Of crazy things.
Yes, of the craziest songs, the greatest mad music and crazy comedy ever recorded. And it is available on cassettes, too. But we should make this distinction because records are bigger. It's only the record set is really impressive. I like cassettes too.
And they don't fit into your radio very well too.
Right.
So
it's the vinyl version that comes with this deluxe booklet here, the record version.
Now what's inside that booklet?
Well, it's thousands and thousands of words, just about everything I know about everybody from Cheech and Chong to Weird Al Yankovic, who are all in the set.
I noticed too you have one of my favorites on there, Captain Spaulding, Groucho Marx. Why did you pick that one?
Oh, because everybody loves the Marx Brothers, and that's really Groucho's greatest song. We have a wonderful recording of it that was made in 1952 when Groucho was doing the You Bet Your Life show. So that's the one that's on.
Hooray for Captain Spaulding! Da, 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 da. I wish I knew the rest of the words. I'll have to buy the album. There he is, right there. There he is. Yeah, great hits. They're crazy. They're fun. They're unusual. They're weird, and that's why we have Dr. Demento here. B230, only $39.90.
Cost you a lot more than that in store.
That's for sure. $55.
I'm going to have to buy a few myself,
Now, what is your motto? I mean, how did you get started doing all this Dr. Demento things? I mean, you have a crazy theme to it, or is it just totally
I started out doing an oldie show. I was playing things like on that Frat Rock album you were talking about a little while ago. and those billboard sets, but I quickly found that it was the funny stuff that got the biggest response. The Purple People Eater, Transfusion, Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor on the Bedpost Overnight, songs like that. Wonderful oldie songs from the 50s and 60s, and those are all on my set.
And then you have some of the
Monster
classics. In fact, we just mentioned one with from Spike Jones, Cocktails for Two, on that one.
So I've got lots of wonderful earlier things on the set called the 40s and before.
In fact, here's a sample of it.
Yes. Yeah, that Spike Jones video is great. Sir Frederick Bass there on the right.
Well, I mean, he's one of the originals to really start all that wacky stuff, isn't he, Spike Jones?
So we have the original recording of his biggest hit on the 40s and before set, along with such things as Three Little Fishies.
I love that hat treatment there at the end, too. Now we have another one here. It's called The Thing from Phil Harris. What's this all about?
The 50s set. This was one of the biggest selling novelty records of all time. It was #1 for 4 weeks in 1950, and we have the original recording on the 50s volume of the 6-record set.
Oh, great. And there's many, many more. Captain Spaulding, we're talking about, again, it was Spike Jones as far as great hits there. And we're talking with Dr. Demento, the original here. The Doctor has a great novelty album, 6-record set or else cassettes. And look at the classic style here. Does this man know how to dress or what? B230, only $39.90. Look out, look out. Retails for $55, but like the doc said, hey, you can't go wrong here at STN, you know? Take care of what ails you right here with the best prices and really novel items just in time for gift-giving occasions and, of course, any type of occasions. These are always popular.
Yes, indeed. They're always good for a laugh. They'll liven up any party.
Now, is there any motto that you have? I mean, is there some type of how you justify your existence? I mean, you're talking about what? You're the man who collects all the novelty records for normally people who'd be committed or something like that?
Oh, I don't know if I have to justify it, but if you want to get serious about it for just a moment, which of course is alien to me to be serious, but we all have a little bit of insanity in us. Some, of course, show our insanity in destructive ways, but here's a way to let off all your insanity and still not hurt anybody, still be good to those you love. Just sing a bunch of silly songs and listen to a bunch of wacky, weird, funny songs.
Like Flying Saucer.
Hurt anybody.
How about the Mumy there? How about Russian Bandstand? And there's The Thing.
Yes. So my motto is funny songs for fun people, or funny songs make fun people.
And you don't
Everybody wants to be a fun person. You don't want to be a sourpuss.
That's it. And you don't have to justify anything. Have a good time.
Right.
Be crazy.
So that's my motto.
And there's some more of those hits.
Yes.
There's Monster
Oh, we're
Mash.
into the 60s there. They're
We're in the
coming to
60s.
take me away. Ha ha.
Ho, ho.
Farm. Yes. We have the original version of that by Napoleon XIV, along with the Monster Mash. And we're into the 70s. That's when the Dr. Demento show got going. And of course, many songs. You may think that novelty records died out with the 60s when your normal AM top 40 stations quit playing them. But in the 70s, the Dr. Demento show has developed a whole stable of people who do songs that are just as funny as any of the ones that came before. So in addition to Weird Al Yankovic, who started on my show, there's Barnes and Barnes. And here's a little bit of trivia. You must remember the show called Lost in Space.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
sure.
Will Robinson, the little kid on that show? He's played by a young actor named Bill Mumy. So what's Bill Mumy doing now? Well, he's in a comedy group. He's in a comedy group called Barnes and Barnes, and they did a song called Fish Heads, which is one of my 5 most requested songs of all time on the Dr. Demento show. So
why do
that,
people
of
love
course,
that
is on
so
my
much?
set.
What is it about that song that people love?
Just because it captures in 2 minutes and 22 seconds the little bit of absurdity that's waiting inside all of us, waiting to get out. Fish heads, eat 'em up, yum.
We're talking about delicious, and look, there's another crazy shot, and this is just the whole attitude of Dr. Demento. It's fun, it's nuts, enjoy it, it's novel.
We even have songs from the 80s on here. Let's see. There's Eat It, of course, by Weird Al Yankovic, and there's Bruce Springsteen, whose parody of Mr. Springsteen has to be heard to be believed. He is singing the Flintstones theme, the actual Flintstones theme, as Bruce might have done it, as the boss might have done it.
How about Hello Mudda, Hello Fada?
That's on the 60s volume, yes, of course.
That's on there too?
Yes, Alan Sherman, he was one of the all-time greats for sure.
And there's a shot of Weird Al
There's
there.
Weird Al on the
now,
screen.
when
yes.
you and Weird Al go on the road together, don't you? When you make
we
public
have-
appearances
yes,
and you two are together?
Yes, indeed.
That must be a
I do
sight
a little
to see.
video program. You know, I collect funny videos too, so I do a little program like that sometimes to introduce Al's shows.
Now, the number on that is B230. One thing I really want to get across, though, is that you are a serious record collector. In fact, you've even explored music. You have a master's in
from
music.
UCLA, and I've lectured on the history of rock and roll there on UCLA, on the UCLA campus, and so that's where I guess I got the smarts to write this booklet with all that fine print on it.
Well, and also the smarts, what, to be writing in, Rolling Stone? You've written
Yes,
in that?
I've written
other
reviews
magazines?
for Rolling Stone and Billboard, and
What's this one deal I read about you writing favorite party hits for We Magazine? What was that all about?
oh yeah,
Doc?
We Magazine, yes, for you adults in the audience, I once did a survey of the favorite party records of all time, the naughty ones, the risque ones, many of which I cannot even play on the radio, not even on my show.
Well, I'll get that list from you
So
later,
I collect
okay?
all kinds of things.
The number is B230, $39.90, and like the doc says, hey, we have the cure right here. You don't have to pay retail. And remember,